This is how to print using a foam block. In my classroom in the print center, there's a sign that says watercolor printing. This is the same process. I have a print plate that I've carved out of foam. Okay, it's nice and deep. To do a watercolor print, we want to texture it a little bit using a little bit of sandpaper first. So I'm going to hold it down and all over. I'm just going to kind of texture it. Okay, you do want to feel it. It'll feel kind of nice and soft. You have to make sure you get everywhere on this block. Okay, this helps the foam not stay so shiny and reject the paint. It helps it hold on to the paint. Really take your time and you want to sand it. Make sure you don't break it. That's why I'm holding it down. When you're done, it might feel like a little bit softer. It won't feel as shiny. It'll feel almost powdery. Whoops. Don't go too fast. There we go. So I'm feeling it now. It's feeling rather soft, okay? Now it's ready to start printing on. I have my water bin and my watercolor set. Okay, I'm going to do a purple watercolor print with a little bit of black in it. Okay, you want to dip your brush in the water. You really do not want a lot of water. I'm really swirling my brush around in that paint. Okay, and I'm painting very quickly. Okay, this is a very quick way to print. If you do this super slow, it's going to dry on the plate. Okay, switch to black. You can even blend your colors. I'm just blending the two colors together. You could experiment. It doesn't always have to be blended. You could try doing hard edges with your paint. You could try doing different shapes, but you gotta do it pretty quick. And use very, very little water. Nice, thick, dark paints. Okay, I'll rinse my brush out. And I painted on this, so I'm gonna really carefully kind of pick it up with two hands, move it to the side. I just want to print on a nice new piece of that foam book every time. Okay, I'm not gonna actually put the print on top. I'm going to put the print back on a nice clean piece of paper, making sure my hands are very nice and clean. I'm going to wipe them off with a little bit of paper towel. I'll do it on white first. Okay, I already pre-labeled my paper. Okay, I'm going to hold two corners, or you can hold it at the top and the bottom, just opposite sides. Hover it above, and then drop it straight down. Okay, holding it with one hand, I'm going to rub. You know, kind of take your time with it. Don't feel like you got to press so hard. I'm going to kind of rub all over it. I like to hold two fingers together. One finger doesn't really seem to be enough pressure. Near the edges, I tend to go in one direction out because that helps the paper not move. Especially the white paper is just a little bit thinner. Then I'll hold it at the bottom and do the other side. Make sure you don't miss the middle. I notice sometimes people kind of miss rubbing the middle a little bit. Right, once you think you rubbed it everywhere, I like to hold my paper down a little bit still. Slowly lift it up from the bottom and pull it up. And that's a pretty good print. So you can see it has a little bit of variation that's going to help prints from watercolor and tempera tend to look. So this is a pretty good print. If I wanted to keep painting with the same colors, I could just paint right on top of it. If I wanted to switch colors, I could try wiping it with a paper towel very, very gently. You know, if they were similar colors, like let's say I wanted to paint with blue next or red, I could probably get away with that. With yellow, you might need to wash your plate and dab it dry. Very carefully, kind of dab it dry. It might still be stained a little bit, but that's okay. So I could go ahead and paint it again and make another print. Make sure your prints go on the drying rack when you're done, as well as your printing plate. That'll go next to your prints too. Make sure you've wiped it off gently the best that you can.